I think this just comes down to, guys, like the easiest way I could probably put this is just more transactions and more issues you're gonna come across, and the better you're gonna need to get at problem solving. That kind of talks a little bit about what I'll go into you guys today, like in the sales environment, but what served you when you were doing new, right? To get to 1 to 2 deals, you don't deal with as many complex problems, right? You got 1, and then you deal with 3, and then 4, and then 5, and you start scaling up. You're just gonna run into this stuff, and it's all a learning curve. There's probably nothing I'm ever gonna tell you guys in this room. And to your point, like, I can't tell you how many times why would they do that? Why did they do that? I've had sellers take the porch lights off their house, and I'm like, why? Why would you do that?
Replace them though.
No, these guys were like, I had ones that took all the porch lights off, and they're like, I bought them from Home Depot, they're mine. And I'm like, but, right. No, you can't, because you sold the house with them on there. They're on there, right? You should have removed those before we even listed the house and put some junky ones on there. But they showed up for the final walkthrough. Stove's gone. Porch lights are gone. What it really comes down to is just setting the proper expectations for people. It's a stressful situation. I think that we get into the transition of, we do this so much every day after day after day. It's just like clockwork. You guys see, we usually get transactions very smooth, start to finish. This is our process, boom, 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 boom. Sometimes you gotta take a step back and understand that your clients, this is like, they don't do this very often. It's first time home buyer that owned a house and then they go to sell. They don't really know, like, to answer your question, Shannon, why would they do that? Maybe they think that's okay, I don't know. Obviously they do, because they probably wouldn't do it if they didn't. In their mind, they're like, whatever, a trash man will come next week and pick it up, front yard. And then I have to have that talk with them, right? If you're going to buy a house, would you buy a house with all this trash in the front yard? No. And then, I'd see, you just can't have these expectations of people to think that they're gonna do things the way you guys want. And that just comes down to us having a little more accountability and flexibility, because you're gonna come across these problems. There's just so many things that you're gonna deal with. Appliances missing. We've had swapped appliances where there was like stainless steel appliances in a house, and then it comes time to do the walkthrough, whole different refrigerator in that house. And then they'll be like, no, that never happened. And then we go back to the listing photos, and you're like, that ain't the friggin' fridge that was in the, it happens. Like, this is the stuff I'm talking about, where you guys gotta be paying attention to it, and you gotta pay attention to, what's in the house when you see it, what's staying, be very detailed on the contracts. And I think especially in this market with things just moving so fast, emotions so high, frustrations high, can't get a house at this price, can't sell a house at this price. All of these things basically, I think, are things that we just have to be really adaptable to and flexible to.